for an evidence,
Thank you very much.
and we have no understanding what the evidence might be, then when the evidence is presented to you, how would you know that's what you're seeking for? So before you even say, look, in my humble opinion, I will be moved by evidence, I will be convinced by evidence, you have to have understanding of what evidence will satisfy you, because evidence can be something for this gentleman, something for that gentleman. Sometimes, just honesty of an individual is enough to take that person's word. You don't need a certification or attestation by someone else. Yeah, because you know that person is honest. Other time you might need any DNA evidence.
Well, it's different because something that may have been deemed a miracle before in any religion, we can now, hundreds of years later, we can explain, okay, this is why that happened. Not always. There's a lot of things that we couldn't explain it before, so people would say, oh, it's divine, it's a miracle, it's something that God has done. But actually now, we can say, oh, that's actually quite a natural thing that science can explain. But then on the flip side, and this is why I'm on the fence, on the flip side, you might say, well, you can explain it with science, it's a formula, but who made that? Maybe God made that. Maybe God put down these rules that we call science now, but actually there's a God that's set that forward, and it's just one way that some people explain it. They call it science, other people may call it God.
I can appreciate your reasoning where as science and technology develop, our understanding of the nature grows more and more clarified, and some of the things people believed in the past is proven to be either not understanding the reality of science. That's correct, but it doesn't take away the fact that there are things which science will never be able to explain to us, or not able to explain with our current scientific state today. For example, consciousness is one big thing that it's called the hard fact of consciousness, hard problem of consciousness. What I would rather, request you to share with us, what would be the evidence that would convince you? Knowing there are many levels and types of evidence. There are mathematical evidence, there are rational evidence, come from rational arguments, scientific ones that you said. There could be just philosophical arguments which are sound and you take them for acceptable. So what would be evidence for you to be convinced that there is a creator of this cosmos?
I don't believe that there is anything that would convince me.
Okay, so that's not agnosticism, is it?
No, but
it's
I think
total. It's in the form of ultra hyper skepticism, where you've made a decision that not just skepticism. We are all skeptics. We are all skeptics, and every day.
And let me explain why. I don't believe that there's anything that is going to be a satisfying enough answer for me that I'm content.
Sure.
Because for me, someone says, okay, the creator, everything here is made by the creator, there's a God. Whether it's your God, whoever's God. That doesn't actually answer any questions for me, because it requires the faith, and I don't have any faith, because to me that asks another question. If you're saying everything here has to have a creator, and you're saying God made it, well, why does God not have a creator? Why is he at the top of the food chain? Do you see what I mean? So it's, for me, that asks another question. Okay, who's God? Why is there a God? Did something else make God? What came before that? If you're always asking the question, okay, why is this here? Something made it. Well, why is there going to be one thing that doesn't have a creator? So it doesn't answer a question for me. It makes me ask another question, which you'd then, I'd imagine, respond with, well, at some point you have to have faith. And
no,
not
at all.
Do you want to explain?
Not at all. I mean, we are Muslims. In fact, Muslims are the ones who developed this scientific method to the world.
Wow.
Are
you sure?
Positive.
Well, Muslims, they pioneered a lot of mathematics, a lot of chemistry, like way back when. Yeah, they really did.
Yeah. We are not saying Muslims invented science. No. Before that, people were doing scientific things and discoveries, even before the Greeks and Romans.
Yeah, but they pioneered a lot.
Yeah. But when we're talking about giving the proper scientific method, and the contribution that this Islam gave rise to the Renaissance, which is
what you did is contributed, no?
No, contribution happened from all races, I would say, in different civilization and different time place. What I'm suggesting is the position that you have. I mean, we can talk about why people stop, or should they stop or not, on who created God or not. I mean, it's easy to actually respond to that question. But when you make that statement, you can never be certain of anything. You perhaps haven't realized that itself is a self-defeating proposition. It's something that defeats itself. Are you even sure about that statement that you made?
Yes.
No, you said you cannot be sure about anything.
No, but I'm sure.
Let me rephrase.
I will always have another question.
Let me rephrase. In terms of your agnosticism, you said you can never be sure or certain about anything. That statement itself, can you be sure of? If you can be sure of that statement to be true, then that means your statement is what? False.
I see what you're saying, but also it doesn't.
No. Let me clarify. If I make a statement like you did, you can never be certain about anything, right?
Yeah.
That statement that I made, can I be certain of that statement? By my own definition, I have to be skeptic of my statement itself. That means what I'm talking about is purely something that I don't even know what I'm saying.
Yes.
But if I say, look, I'm quite certain of my statement that you can never be certain or true about anything else, that means there can be certainty. Then your statement is false.
I see what you're saying, and I
Yes.
appreciate your argument, but there are certain things that you can be certain about.
Good. That means not everything, certain things.
I agree, but when you're talking about big questions, like where did I come from, I can be certain in that I will always be unsatisfied with a single answer, because I'm always going to find the next question. So if I say, who put me here? Okay, someone's going to tell me, God put you here. This is why God put you here.
That's a leap of faith in the first place.
It's a leap of faith, but that's what I'm saying. I don't have that. I can't take that leap of faith.
Okay, how about using rational arguments now, without any faith whatsoever, to answer that question? Would that be reasonable?
To answer which question? Why am I here?
The question about God. When you say, people say, oh, God created it.
Yeah.
And you said, why don't we go to the next step? Who created God? Yeah?
Well, yeah, so who created God?
Sure.
Does God have a God?
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
This question...
It depends on your concept of God.
Yes.
We don't have enough intelligence to understand the full concept of God and Creator.
But for that reason, that's why I don't agree with it.
Because our understanding is limited to what we can see around us. So everything that we see around us, that's what we can relate to. So when in the Quran it describes heaven and hell, it can only describe it in terms of what we can see and what our intellect will allow us to see. Whether that is a concept of that is different. So do you understand what I'm saying?
No,
Thank you, but I have a different approach.
I would say widely, a God is generally perceived as being the creator. However you label that, is generally the creator.
Okay. Let's take it step by step. Did you ask me a question? Who created God? Is that a question?
But that was more of an example of,
No.
For me, it
when
asks a question.
When people ask who created God, do you think this is a question or a statement?
Well, it's a question.
Very good. The difference between a question and a statement is a statement doesn't need an answer. It's just today is Sunday.
Yeah.
You don't need to answer anything because nothing's been asked or inquired. A question is trying to answer something.
Yeah.
So all questions, to be questions, must have potential answers. Do you agree?
Yeah.
A question to be a valid question, they must be free from internal contradictions. What I mean by that, if I asked you, how many legs does the sun walk upon, 2 or 3? I've asked you a question.
Well, I tell you that we know the sun doesn't have legs.
And I asked you, so you answered a question which I didn't ask, which was, does sun have legs? And your answer is, the sun doesn't have legs. But I asked you a different question. how many legs does the sun walk upon? 2 or 3? So my question already had potential answers embedded within it.
Yeah.
2 or 3 legs. 2 or 3 legs. Now, you are already restrained to answer either by 2 or by 3.
Yeah.
So, is my question a valid question?
Well, it's not an open question.
No, is it a valid question?
Any question is valid, whether it's open or closed.
Nope.
You asked me a closed question because you were confining the answers.
Yeah. The reason when I say validity of a question to be valid must be, as I said, it has to have certain characteristics.
Because if you do a multiple choice test that has set answers,
I'm going to ask you a question now.
Questions.
I'm going to ask you a question. Today is Sunday. Answer.
That's not a question.
That's the same.
Is it a valid question?
Well, it's not a question.
Is it a valid question?
Well, it's not a question at all.
Why not? Okay, let me ask
you. Today is Sunday.
Okay.
Full stop. That's not a question.
No. Today is Sunday.
Okay, that's now a question.
Right.
Yes.
So you are interpreting that I mean is today Sunday, but I didn't say today is Sunday.
But you've just used that as an example, but it's actually proved my point that the other question was still a question. It's a valid question.
No.
But it's not.
Let me tell you
it's
why.
Closed.
Let me tell you the validity comes from. A question to be valid must be free from internal contradictions. If a question has
But
embedded,
who says this? Where's this come from?
if you have a question which has these potential answers, for example, a married bachelor is 22 years old. Is a married bachelor 22 years old?
From the information you've given me, yes.
Can you have a married bachelor?
Married be bachelor.
Okay, right. I see what. Right. Okay, you tricked me.
That's the question, no?
Well, you could still act like a bachelor if you're married.
No. Look, if you are married, you're not a bachelor.
Yeah.
If you're a bachelor, you're not married. If you're married and you're divorced, you're widowed, you're not a bachelor. Okay? You're already with a designation called widowed. Yeah?
Yeah.
So internal contradictions invalidates a question to be a valid question. That's something people don't think about it. They say, oh, anything with a question mark at the end is a valid question, but it's not. So when people ask who created God, to be a valid question, it has to have potential answers, and that's what we're going to go through, and it must be free from contradictions. If the concept, as you said, if the concept of a creator is the creator is uncreated as a concept, then somebody asks who created the uncreated is a meaningless statement, invalid.
Well,
who created the uncreated?
Well, that's my point.
It's not a valid question.
If you can't answer that, then saying that God is the answer you need is not the answer.
Any question. It's like, who's the father of Santa Claus? Santa Claus is just a fantastical figure from mythology.
Yes.
Maybe Saint Nicholas was there, but we're not talking about Saint Nicholas. We're talking about Father Christmas, who comes down through the chimneys and bring presents. We know that's not true. Asking who's the father of this.
But why do we know that's not true?
Okay. In this coming weeks.
But do you see what I mean?
Wait a second. In this coming weeks, right? Children will see presents in their stockings hang around on the walls and in their rooms, and they were told Father Christmas came down through the chimneys. You believe that's true?
Well, kids believe.
Well, no, I don't.
Hang on.
Because I know it.
Do you believe it's true?
No, I don't believe it's true.
Why don't you believe it's true?
Because I know that it's not true.
Okay, fine. So you have knowledge. So do I. So knowing that this is not true, but this is just some people giving, some kind of belief statement, we need to understand likewise when we say there is something called a concept called uncreated. And then asking who created the uncreated is a meaningless statement. It's like asking, okay.
But why? But why is it meaningless?
Because uncreated means, as a concept, there is no creator for that thing.
Yes.
Then asking who created this uncreated is meaningless statement.
But why?
Because of language. Logic and language, is logic part of our language?
Okay, let me pose this in another way. This group of people, who made them? Why are they here?
No.
But who made them?
Firstly, we're trying to...
If your answer is God, well, why is God not part of that question?
Firstly, you're trying to jump to the... later please. We're trying to jump to the answer at the end. I'm trying to give you some framework in which we can understand how to answer questions like this when they ask. When we have a concept, for example, true and false, right? Yeah? True and false. Can something be true and false at the same time? We would say no, because that's
Not
to you,
might
to you, to you.
No, it doesn't. But
Right.
That's obviously a mathematical equation which we
Right.
can prove.
So when you have 1 + 1 = 2, and somebody says 1 + 1 = 3, can they both be true?
Of course. Yeah, I can be pregnant and one.
Sorry?
I can be pregnant and 1 + 1 is 3.
Explain that to me, please. When you're pregnant, there's another one already new. So there's not 1 + 1, it's 1 + 1 and 1 inside
You're
you.
using a bad example because mathematics is all formulas. Everything can be proven through the workings out. That's why maths works.
So basically, in this.
But life is not mathematics.
So in reality.
So what I'm saying is that your truth.
Okay.
So your religion.
Okay.
Is your truth.
Okay, let me
But to me, it's not my truth.
Am I talking about religion now?
Well, yes, the whole discussion is.
Okay. That's the problem, perhaps, because you're automatically thinking that there's a. I'm talking about religion. I'm talking about framework,
Yes,
principles,
but where did we,
axioms.
How have we got here? We got here
We will.
because we're talking
we
about
will,
creator.
We will talk about that. To answer the question about who created God requires understanding the very basics first. If you are 100% truth in something, can you be 5% wrong?
Yes.
No, that's contradiction.
Okay.
Yes.
One second, please. Let's not muddy this water.
If, for example, you're 100% certain that bus is red, can it be pink 5%?
Yes.
If you are-
Because my eyes might see differently to your eyes. We have something called being colorblind. So people see things differently. Someone's truth is not the same as everyone else's truth. This is what I'm saying. And with science, at least, it might show that an answer is true, but it's always questioning itself. And sometimes they turn around and the science changes and they say, actually, we realized this is wrong.
You're actually talking about something that I'm not even talking about. I'm not talking about the shades. I'm talking about if you're 100% true and certain, do you exist?
Do I?
I'm asking you.
There's a very, very strong argument that none of us exist, that this is all a simulation.
Do you exist?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay.
I don't know, do I
What
exist?
part of the statement is not clear to you in the English language? Do, does, did, you, them, I, we, pronounce, exist, existence, non-existence. So which part of that statement, my question, is not clear to you? Do you exist? Then I can answer the question.
Well, instead of being patronizing,
I'm not patronizing it.
patronizing
No, I'm
me.
not. I'm not. Don't be offended. Because the moment people say, what do you mean by that?
okay, I'll put it back to you and you can give me your answer.
Yeah.
Do you exist?
I do.
How do you know? Okay.
Did you feel anything?
Yes, but
Wait.
you be having
Wait a second.
a dream?
Wait a
and
second.
could it feel?
Wait. If I didn't exist, meaning I was non-existence whatsoever, I was no atoms, no electrons, no quarks, heptons, leptons, gluons, bosons. I was nothing whatsoever. No space-time continuity. I was not a black hole. I was not quantum fluctuations. I was not matter. I was not energy. I was not time. I was not space. If I was totally non-existence, would you have felt that?
Well, how do you know that's real?
Would you have felt it? My question.
Did you
I
feel
felt it.
You felt it.
But how do you know what you're feeling is real?
Wait, I'm asking you. This is my question to you. If I was totally non-existence, would you have felt it?
But you're assuming that I am real.
No. Would you have felt it? It's a logical question. Would you have felt it if I was totally non-existence?
You're assuming.
And I apologize for pushing you.
You are assuming all of these things are real.
No. I'm simply asking you. If I didn't exist at all and I defined how can I exist? I can exist as matter, space, time, fluctuations, quantum fields,
How
gravity.
do you know that
Look.
are real and any of that exists? You don't.
Suppose I don't exist, right? That's what I'm asking. If I didn't exist, would you have felt it? That push.
Pushing me does not prove your existence or my existence.
So if I didn't exist,
Why did you move?
why did you move? Thank you. It's hard, isn't it, when confronted with real facts?
No. Because I'm not buying any of this. Pushing me
Okay,
doesn't prove I exist.
why did you move?
Pushing you, everything here, everything could be in your head.
No. Why did you move? Next question.
I moved because you pushed me.
But I don't exist.
Maybe you don't.
Well, what's the point you're making? Maybe you don't exist.
Yeah, so why did you move?
If he doesn't exist, then you should not have moved.
But this is what I'm saying. Maybe I don't exist. Maybe
But then you would not have moved.
Yes, I would. I'd be in his head. If all of this was, if he was
If you
in a
didn't
coma,
exist, you wouldn't have moved.
if you were in a coma and you were dreaming all of this,
Look,
you'd be doing all this in your
you know,
head, but you wouldn't be doing any of it
Look,
in real life.
I could have done something worse, right? I only pushed you. If I had punched you, you'd have punched me back. You'd be punching back to something non-existent, wouldn't you? Imagine I punched you. I hit you so hard, and I swear at you, I called you something very wicked, something very vulgar about your mother, about your girlfriend, about your wife, about your whatever. You would be hitting back something that doesn't exist.
You're missing the point.
Maybe I am.
I can't.
Maybe
I
I
can't
am.
get through to you because
No,
you're,
look,
you're too.
maybe
No, I
I
understand
am.
what you're saying.
You're too close to the fact that there's always another question.
But the
So
problem,
you're using this as proof that
problem
I
is-
exist and that you
okay.
exist, but it doesn't prove anything.
look, the lady next to you doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Yeah? You don't exist.
she might not.
You don't exist at all.
She might not. What are you basing
No,
your
not
existence
might,
on?
not might. She doesn't exist. Can you prove that she exists? I say she doesn't exist at all.
No, I can't.
So you can't prove that she exists.
I can't prove that she exists. I can't prove that you exist. No one here. I can't prove that any of this exists.
Yeah.
So this is why, going
So-
all the way back to the beginning,
Okay.
this is why I can't have faith, because I cannot
Sure.
prove personally that anything exists, and I'm not going to accept anything else as a reason for its existence.
You know what?
So I take it all as it is, and I
Okay.
try and enjoy it.
Okay, fine. I agree with you on one thing.
Your state-
Brother, sorry. I agree with one thing. I would request all these cameramans to make me disappear from your cameras, and you will see that in the camera, this gentleman is speaking to himself, being pushed, being spoken to, being reasoned with, and then he will say, yeah, I came to speak as corner, and I was just speaking to myself.
Well,
should we do that?
There's a lot of people out there that do speak to themselves.
Or when you watch the videos again, you will say, that guy didn't exist. I just reacted like that. I didn't hear anything. These are all projections in people's minds.
Okay.
Is that what you say, right?
So I urge you to look up later, go on the internet. I don't personally believe it, but it is a very strongly held opinion by lots of top academics and scientists that there's a strong case for everything being a simulation. Everything.
Yeah, including you, right?
exists,
Yeah.
including me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
don't
where
know.
did the simulation, who created the simulation?
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm using it as
Was
an
there a
example.
creator of the simulation?
Well, exactly.
Or did the
Brother,
simulation
brother, just one
come
second.
into being?
Brother, one second. If it's all a simulation, there is no such thing as a top academic. They don't exist either.
Yeah,
So, hang on.
Let me
No.
answer his question.
Wait
Let
a
me
second.
answer his
You
question.
can answer. Imagine this is all simulation. That means the top academic doesn't exist. So I am
Yes.
not going to
Argue.
for and even read books or go into the internet for people who don't even exist.
Exactly.
What are you
If
asking
they're
me
a
to?
simulation,
Yeah.
then those academics are simulation as
Yeah.
well. So they don't exist.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So what does that question ask then? So what are you asking at the end of that? Who made the simulation?
What I'm saying is, your genetic code
Yes.
is very complex, isn't it? It's more complex than any other book
Yeah.
that's been written.
Yeah.
As is hers, as is his, as is his, as is that blade of grass, that tree. Can you not see that some intelligent being had to be behind
Okay, because
all of that
No,
creation?
No, because that very question, I want you to hold on to that because that's my whole point.
How
is
can you
that-
hold? You don't exist. No. Look, turn around. He doesn't exist.
You see, this is.
You shouldn't feel anything.
This is it.
Brother, one second. Hold it like that. You should not feel anything.
If you're going
He
to be
doesn't
silly,
exist.
if you're going to be silly, we can't
Silly?
debate. We can't debate.
You think this is silly? He doesn't exist. How can you debate when he doesn't exist, brother? You don't exist. Neither do you. Take care. You take care because you don't exist. Okay? Take care. How can I shake hands with someone who doesn't exist? How can I shake hands with someone who doesn't exist?